with us on an exciting vacation here to the desert Southwest. Right now, as you can probably see in the background, we're just outside the city of Las Vegas. We're actually up in a part of the desert called the High Desert area. Now, right around in this direction, if you'll follow us around here, is the road to Hollywood, California, and we're also going to take you there on this edition of Snapshot. But before we do that, we are going to take you on an incredible tour of some of this desert wildlife. So stay with us. You know, it's just unbelievable here on the desert how many plants actually grow out here. This is indeed a miracle in evolution. It's up in the hundreds here today in this part of the desert here just outside of Las Vegas. There are all kinds of really plants. Let's take a look at some of them. Maybe some of you in the viewing audience can tell us what some of the names are. It is hot out here, it is dry out here, and it is windy out here. Now over in the distance, you can see a mountain chain, and that's called the Charleston Mountain Chain, here west of Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we're in an area here called the Calico Hills. You know, for most of geologic time, this was under a great ocean, a great sea. It's just recently, within the last several million years, that this has become a dry, arid desert area. Come on down, let's go take a look. We just saw a warning sign here that there's a steep grade, and indeed it is. You can see all kinds of desert plants out here. It's really a magnificent place. Magnificently large. Of course, you can see the magnificent and really beautiful colors here as well. And of course, Snapshot always takes you to the most exciting places. Here on the desert, and this is part of the Mojave Desert, it's an unbelievable variety of desert life. It is absolutely incredible to me how these animals survive out here. But again, just like the plants, I guess it is indeed a miracle of evolution. This obviously is some kind of a digging lizard, and not very frightened of us. Well, it appears that it certainly has discovered something there. And can you think of a more magnificent place in which to have your residence as here at the Calico Hills? Well, we certainly hope that you have enjoyed this grand tour of the Nevada desert. It is absolutely a magnificent part of the world. And we're going to leave you with some images of the bright lights of Las Vegas, and then on to Hollywood, California. Stay with us.
Use force to stop a friend from drinking and driving.
Hop in.
Use your wits.
This is your car.
Yeah.
My brother had the same car. He never let me drive it, though.
No?
So you must have had me in mind when you bought this. Wait till he hears you've got the same one, and you let me drive it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Alan Wolfe back with you, and I hope you enjoyed the bright lights of Las Vegas. Sure was exciting for us. On this portion of Snapshot, we're going to take you right here to the hills of Hollywood, and indeed all over Hollywood, to show you some of the most exciting locations in Southern California. First order of business, a visit to the most strangely painted house in the Hollywood Hills, Madonna's Pumpkin House. This is Madonna's home. Used to belong to the famous gangster Bugsy Siegel, and they tell us that it's about 20,000 square feet. Check out this paint job, folks. We do understand from one of the security officers here that shortly after Madonna painted the house in this rather unique style, many of the neighbors in the area decided that it did not go in with their decorum, as you can imagine. Of course, we're not able to get in. Neat place, huh? Well, from Madonna's house to one of the most scenic places in all of Hollywood, this is the view from Mulholland Drive. Let's take a look at the city from up here. It is absolutely magnificent. Here's another view of Madonna's house from all the way across the Hollywood Hills. And here, first opened in 1919, a place where there are many, many famous performers, the Hollywood Bowl. Well, shaped like its namesake, the Record, there's the Capitol Records building right in the heart of Hollywood. Hey, anybody interested in astronomy? There is the famous Griffith Park Observatory in the Hollywood Hills. A little bit smoggy today. No surprise for Los Angeles. Well, here we are on Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. One of the most famous buildings here is Mann's Chinese Theater. It used to be called Grauman's Chinese. And this is the place where you can find all the footprints. Hey, what do you think? Think Alan Wolfe's footprints over there? Let's go check it out. I told you we could find my footprints here. Captain for this one might be, hey boss, I want a raise. Boy, I'll bet those were some big shoes to fill. find any footprints in there. What do you think? Maybe I got a star out here, huh? No? Hey, they're not talking about our show, are they? There it is. That must mean Snapshot, a camera. Huh, we found it. Oh, guess not. Well, on to the next location here in exciting Southern California. Let's go. You know, certainly one of the most interesting and scientific places in all of the Los Angeles area is here at the Griffith Park Observatory. Interested in astronomy? I am. I hope you are. Come on along. We're going to go inside. Out, folks, as we stamp on the floor here, watch the seismograph. We just manufactured our own earthquake, which is something that they don't need any more of here in Southern California. That is for sure. And this is the inside of a camera, light coming in from the area where the cars are parked here at the observatory. The light is then reflected from that mirror down here. And we are looking at the outside of the observatory. So I hope you've enjoyed that real brief view of the Griffith Park Observatory. Of course, that was only a snapshot of all there is inside there to look at. Next stop on our grand tour, we're going to take you back over 10 million years. Stay with us. Alan Wolfe back with you, and as promised, we're going to take you back to a time that happened millions of years ago. We're here at the La Brea Tar Pits in downtown Los Angeles. And today we're going to show you some of the bones of dinosaurs, ancient monsters that bubble out of these very tar pits. Well, as promised, we are now in the museum, and this is the place where these bones are assembled. Now, this set of bones actually has a Florida connection. Matter of fact, it kind of looks like my boss just a little bit. And we're here today with Barbara Parkers, who's the educational coordinator here at the museum at La Brea. Good morning, and thank you for having us with you. This giant monster here is called a what?
Well, we call him the giant ground sloth, but the true giant ground sloth was not found here. It's found in Florida. This one is 6 feet tall, but you have one that you find in Florida that is 18 feet tall, or 3 times the size of this animal. This particular species, however, has been found here and also in the sinkholes that you have in Florida. Peculiar animals, both the living tree sloth and the giant extinct ground sloth. They have extra ribs, they have extra vertebra, they do not have teeth in the front of their mouth. They have only one set of teeth, and they don't have enamel on their teeth. So all in all, very, very peculiar animal. Not only that, this one also had bones in their skin. Now the living sloths and the other species do not, but he has what we call skin bones, little pieces of bone that grew and formed all by themselves and found in his skin, in his shoulders and his back.
Would they be for protection from other animals, or what would they be for?
Probably some protection, or it also could be a degenerative quality. They're related armadillos who still have the armor. The other sloths don't have these skin bones, so it might be that they just haven't quite finished losing all of the bone that they might have all had at one time.
Okay, so you find lots of bones in the tar pit, like we saw earlier. How do you know which bone goes where and what animal it belongs to? Or doesn't it matter actually which animal it belongs to, just as long as it belongs to that species?
Well, it does matter which animal it belongs to.
Yeah, really, right? Bad question. We'll edit that out. We don't have to worry about that one. Sorry about that, Barbara.
Okay. We do by comparison. We use a lot of monoskeletons to make our identification, and besides the fossil bones, a cat is a cat is a cat. So we don't have any saber-toothed cats roaming around anymore, but we certainly have other, say, large cats that live in the world. So we would use a comparison, say, of a mountain lion's bones or a lion's bones, and we could definitely tell it wasn't a horse or a wolf, but that it was a cat. And then there's also certain patterns that all mammals have. Everybody has 7 neck bones, and so it's so many sets of ribs. So we would go through drawers then and pick out 7 neck bones and assemble it, and 12 pairs of ribs, and go through 159 hips, arms, legs, hands, feet, ankles, wrists, and assemble it right size, right age, and the right species.
Well, these are very familiar looking bones. They're various birds, huh?
Yes, but they're not a bird you would see out at your local window.
I hope not.
All 12 of these are extinct. Now, they do have living relatives.
I had a living relative once that sort of looked like that.
The buzzard?
Yeah.
Okay. We're noted throughout the world for the birds, and we have removed 100,000 bird bones, and we have 137 different species that have been recorded here.
Now, the difference from animal bones to bird bones is that the bird bones are hollow, correct?
For the most part, yes. And also very fragile. And birds are they're the lightweight of the animal world. Certain birds, like for instance an albatross, the feathers, actually, if you put the feathers on a scale and then the bones on another, the feathers actually outweigh the bones.
Well, this is giant. I cannot imagine coming upon an animal like this in the wild. That must be just unbelievably frightening. This is huge. How tall? 8, 10 feet?
Well, this one stands 11 feet tall at the shoulder, but we have bones showing some of them got to be 13 feet tall at the shoulders.
What do they eat other than anything they want?
No, they're primarily grass eaters, but they had to eat about 400 to 500 pounds a day. So you can imagine what they spent their time doing. And so it's hard to picture animals like this walking down Wilshire Boulevard, but they actually were here.
Yeah, at least without a credit card.
Right. But you know, they didn't set up housekeeping because they had to keep moving in order to keep getting enough food to eat. The tusks are one of the very few things in the museum that's not real, because tusks do not preserve well.
Would this be the approximate size of the tusk in any event?
Yes. And so when we find them, we find chunks very broken up and very oil soaked. So it's easier to make them, and they're made out of styrofoam dipped in fiberglass. But that's one of the very few things that is not real in the museum. The amazing thing about this place is every single thing in this entire building was found in this one block, and we don't have room to bring everything home.
I believe it was referred to as a La Brea time wall, correct?
This is the Rancho La Brea time period. This is a geological period of time that is valid for the entire North American continent. So even in Florida, you find a record of past life that falls in our time span. It'll be termed Rancho La Brea age.
Well, we are in the lab here where these specimens are assembled. What are these?
These happen to be mastodon's teeth. And right now they're working on all the elephant material, mammoths and mastodon.
Again, all out of the pits.
Oh yes, every single thing is from this one block. And so around here you'll see how they put bones together because the elephants are very fragile.
Yeah, let's get a tight shot of this over here. Some very interesting stuff. What do we have down here?
So, well, it's all mammoth or mastodon bones. And they will be trying to find pieces to go into the leg bones or to piece one of these bones together. Those
leg bones are giant. And so I see they have to number each piece and I guess assign it its place.
Yes. And the yellow is a liquid sponge that if you find a piece that fits, then it can just be cut out while it's glued in. So, no, this is very, very time-consuming work.
How long generally do they take in assembling one of these? Does it vary from bone to bone?
Yes.
Could be weeks, months?
Right now, they're working on all of the elephant material, and much of it was dug up in 1913, 14, and 15. So they're trying to complete one group of animals and to finish it up. So they've been working on this quite a while now.
Might need a bigger museum.
We're already overflowing. We don't have room to bring everything home.
Do these specimens ever go out to other museums around the country?
We have an exhibit that's on touring now throughout the United States. And then also several large universities have some long-term loans that they're doing special studies. You know.
Well, this connection with the past, certainly, no question it's beneficial to all of us to know where humanity and where life has been previous to us. And I understand that really about every, 40 million years, the species that rules the Earth actually changes. Am I right in that time period? I watch a lot of movies.
Well, it's faster than that. And so the actual species, now a family can last longer, but the actual species, it's much, much less time than that.
Well, Barbara Parkers, educational coordinator here at the museum, thank you so much for your time, and thank you on behalf of the audience, and thank you for joining us on this edition of Snapshot. Until next time, I'm your host, Alan Wolfe. We'll see you then.